Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that I've never heard anyone speak about, and that's the exact feeling, your moment-to-moment feeling of being rich. You see, by definition, rich equals plentiful, abundant, which could easily translate into you have more than you actually need, than you use. For a great number of people, they live paycheck to paycheck. As soon as they get a dollar, they spend a dollar. In no way, shape, or form can these people be called rich as far as financial means are concerned. They may be rich in spirit. They may be rich in love, and rich in, culture. But as far as financial things, that's not what we're talking about here. They would not qualify for it. So what I'm speaking about is the actual moment-to-moment feeling of being rich. You see, you don't need millions of dollars to be rich under these conditions. And honestly, at a certain point, money really is just numbers on a page. Even if you have piles of money in front of you, it really doesn't mean a hell of a lot. And let me explain that. Because, you see, when you don't have enough money, money is the most precious thing around. Well, maybe not, your family and all that, but it becomes a scarce commodity, and just by definition, scarcity increases its value. That's just the way it is. It could be money, it could be bread, it could be water, it could be anything. Anything that's scarce is valuable. So, what happens when something's not scarce anymore? What if you had so much money coming in that all of your needs are met? You can go out and spend money and it's no big deal. It's not a problem at all. If something happens, you don't worry about it. If your car breaks down, you have no worries whatsoever about that because you have so much money. See, that right there is rich. And what I mean by that is, once upon a time, some years ago, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had some really poor habits when it came to money in general. I'd spend it like crazy, really compensating for a lack of belief in myself, really. And I was trying to fill a void, as most of us do, in some way, shape, or form. And over time, it's like I knew it was a dead end, and I had to take steps to change my habits and attitude towards money. So now I make more money than I've ever made in my life, and quite a bit more actually. And not only is the money coming in increased substantially, but I've gotten a very strong control over the money I actually put out. Well, it's not a small number. I don't think it's a small number. I mean, I buy stuff all the time. I always have more than I need. Always. And quite a bit more actually. So the feeling day to day when money is no longer scarce is contentment. It's you don't worry about, are you going to be able to put gas in your car? Are you going to be able to fix your car if something happens? If you had to go to the dentist in an emergency, you're not worried about these things. It's very, very calm. Think about anything that you've ever had that you've had plenty of. Maybe you just went to the store. This works for some people. Maybe you went to the store and you just bought a whole crap load of groceries, like tons and tons of them. You're not going to be worried about going hungry anytime soon, are you? You have so much around you, you can see it immediately. So you can look around and be like, yep, I got plenty to eat. Are you going to be afraid that you're going to go hungry? Are you going to be worried tomorrow night that you don't know, if you're going to be fed or if your kids are going to get fed? Of course not. You obviously have a lot of it. And it's the same thing with money, except for money is a more general term. So instead of food, no, lots of food equals no hunger. You don't worry about being hungry. With lots of money, you don't worry about a lot of different things. You don't worry about, paying the rent. You don't worry about buying something you want. You don't worry about if you go out to dinner tonight with someone, how are you going to put gas in your car tomorrow? You see, financial stress is one of the worst types of stress there is because it's a consistent, constant like deficit, and it's not like, oh, that's okay, I'll sleep on it tonight, I'll feel better in the morning. No, because in the morning it's still there, and you're just counting those moments, minutes even, till your next paycheck. When you have enough money, because even if you don't have, like, say, tons and tons of money coming in, you can, through better financial practices in general, control the money that you are putting out. And let's be honest, a ton of us waste a lot of money needlessly. We don't have to put out as much as we do. We don't have to do some of the habits we have. They're not serving us. And if you change even the smallest thing, if you consistently go out to eat and you change that to like once a week, you could easily save hundreds, even $1,000 a month, because going out to eat is a massive, massive expense. I went to eat all the time. I loved it, but when I tallied up the total, it was ridiculous, completely ridiculous, because I consistently did it. So what I'm talking about is getting all that under control. You want to maximize the amount of money coming in and reduce as much as humanly possible the amount of money going out. And that way you have this big surplus. And the surplus is what really matters, because that's the money you get to use for whatever you want. And when you have a lot of surplus consistently, your reserves start building. And once you're sitting on like this quite a huge nest egg, you're not worried about a lot of things. You're just not. You'll see people around you struggling, but and you might even try to offer them advice, but how often do people like actually take it? So the general feeling of being rich is contentment. You just like you're not worried about day-to-day expenses at all. Period. And when you're not worried about day-to-day expenses, a massive amount of stress is reduced. Massive. There's always going to be stress in one way or shape or form, but financial stress is a big one. And you get that off your shoulders by, doing what I say, and a ton of that is just gone. And since most of us are constantly worried about money in general, then you're not so worried anymore. See, when there's a lot of something, it's not as valuable. And even to me, it's like I had money laying all over my desk, and I would often joke with people about it's like, you walk into my room and you think I'm a drug dealer, because there's just piles of money around, and I use that for like some visual stimulation as well, because it's this whole, I talk about mind programming all the time, and that's part of it. Not necessary, but it's just a bonus. Called auto suggestion, and I'll get into that in another video. But when you have a lot of something, you're not worried about not having it. That's the general idea. And when you have a lot of something, it's less valuable. When you have a lot of money, time is more valuable. Relationships are more valuable. General enjoyment is more valuable. Because if you're not worried about the money, then you're going to find something else to focus on, because the money thing's taken care of. And I have never ever heard anyone speak about this. Hell, before it happened to me, I had never ever experienced it either. I was always worried about money until that all changed. And I'm not worried about money anymore because I have so much of it. But that's not to gloat. It's just through changing some of my behavior patterns and starting and believing in myself again, I pursued more and more and reduced my expenses, and creating this bigger and bigger difference between what's coming in and what's going out. And just because you're making 50 grand a year doesn't mean you need a sports car. Let's, like, seriously. It doesn't mean you need to go get this beach home. That's how you get broke quick. You see, you want to maximize that thing. Get the things you need, but don't shoot for the flashiest thing around. A lot of us do that stuff. I did it when I was younger too. Because it'll wipe your money out like nothing. And when you're paying all this crazy amounts of money, I mean, what's more important to you? Seriously, what's going to bring me more? Driving around in a flashy sports car, a couple times a week, or having every moment of every day where you have no financial stress? None. Because you already have it. You already have the money. And that's what I'm talking about. When money isn't a thing, time is more important. When you're not worried about the next paycheck coming in, you can start looking at money as what it really is. It's a resource, not just to live, but also to pursue goals, passions, investing, you know, building up the business you always wanted. Whatever it is you want. It's a tool, and you can use a tool wisely or not. It's really up to the person using it. But this is how it feels to have a lot of money. It's a general state of financial peace. Just financial peace. But day in and day out, we're always worried about expenses. And some of us, honestly, some of us have a lot of expenses. A lot. And some of us don't. But things can get turned around no matter what stage you're at. Alright, if you like the videos I'm creating, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If you if you don't like what I put out, then just comment down below and tell me. Share this with someone you think could use it, or not. It's completely up to you. Until next time, I'll see you later.